everybody, and welcome back to Town Manager's Corner. I'm Scott Lambiase, I'm your town manager, and welcome to Season 2. As many of you who have watched, I'm sure there is quite a few of you, over last season, we met with different department heads and different departments, and really I want to introduce you to all of them, ask them what they're doing, what's going on in their departments, and we'll cover some topical issues of things that may be going on. Right now we're getting geared up towards budget season, so we'll probably talk about that with everybody. But today I have Sonia Hodge. She's our treasurer, collector, and finance director, and we're going to ask Sonia about what's going on in her department. So welcome, Sonia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. And could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I've been with the town for 6.5 years now. I came over from Michigan, where I was a school business manager, and it was exciting to start a new type of work, but in the same realm. So I've really enjoyed learning about town government and how the finances work here.
Okay, and so your first two titles were treasurer collector, and obviously those are two different things. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the treasurer collector job?
Sure.
Position?
So in some towns the treasurers and the collectors are different. They have two separate people doing those positions, and the collector will receive commitments from the assessor's office and issue bills, take in payments, and then at the time that bills become delinquent, any real estate properties would go into tax title, and then at that point the treasurer would take over collection of those accounts. Everything else would remain with the collector. The treasurer is also in charge of debt issuance, cash management, and in many cases payroll and benefits. Okay,
so I guess just to simplify it for everybody, we have our assessor who set the tax rate and then sent the bills out to everybody?
She sends me the list.
She sends you the list. And as the treasurer collector, I guess that would be the collector part, you're sending out the bills. And you're collecting the taxes.
Exactly.
And then the treasurer part puts it in the bank and keeps an eye on it?
Exactly.
Okay.
The collector would then turn everything over to the treasurer to be deposited and managed.
And then over in the accounting department,
we report to them everything that we take in.
And they're spending it with us.
And all three of us reconcile our books together to make sure that everything is in line and balanced.
Okay. Now, I guess that sort of brings up your third title as finance director. Is you're in charge of orchestrating all of that really now. And so how do you like that?
I'm loving it. Okay. It's a lot of extra work that I'm taking on and absorbing, but it's been really interesting to get to know the town on a deeper level, to be able to put together the budget for the entire organization.
No, and it's been great working with you. I've enjoyed it. This has been a fun budget season so far. But it's a process, and maybe that's probably for another episode, is we'll actually just go over the whole budget process. But all right, so. We talked about debt. Did you want to talk about that a little bit, or
Sure,
anything?
I can.
Okay.
We manage all of the debt for the town in the schools, including sewer and water. In water's instances, we split the debt payments 50-50. So we issue our share of the debt, and Rockland issues their share of the debt, and we make our payments separately. Okay. For sewer, we issue the debt, and the payments come out of sewer receipts reserved. And then for any other town or school debt, it's coming out of either the general fund or it's excluded debt, which means it's added onto the tax bill. And those are obviously something we take very seriously, and we don't request from taxpayers without serious thought. Sure. And that does have to be approved by taxpayers, both at town meeting and at the ballot. And
when we talk about debt, basically we're talking about the new school that we built. We borrowed for that. The sewer main, the fourth sewer main, other major projects like that happened over the years. I think we had some roadway projects.
Yep, we just finished up a roadway project that came in well under budget, so we're not going to need to borrow the full amount that was authorized at town meeting. And we're actually going to have an article on this town meeting to rescind the excess. We're not going to borrow just because we can. So we'll turn that back over.
So and that's great. That's actually another part of it, is that we're careful when we do this, and they'll see at town meeting that we go out of our way to make sure that we're responsible, and we anything that we don't need or use when we borrow for any particular purpose, we rescind.
Exactly.
And that's something that we're going to be doing this year. You have a list of things and a list of projects that were done on the budget, and we're actually rescinding that debt authorization,
Yes.
or for that amount, which is great. And it'll be great for everybody to see that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that we had this year, we had a surplus auction of properties, and then there were also some tax title properties. Is that what the difference was?
Yep, depending on how
Okay.
the town came to own the properties, decides how you can title them and how you can sell the properties.
Okay.
Yeah, some were tax foreclosures and some were just surplus property that town either purchased or were gifted.
Okay. And I remember it was a fairly successful auction.
Yeah, it was.
We did remove some of those properties because we felt as though they would be better off left as open space or protected for environmental purposes. But for the most part, the usable spaces, we did get back out there, and they're back on the tax rolls now, and we've recouped the losses that were incurred because these, whoever previous owners weren't paying their share of the taxes.
Right, and it's important to note too that the foreclosure properties were only land. These were not homes that we had to foreclose and evict anybody. We try to avoid that at all costs. So any of the tax foreclosures were just land. The one property we had with the building was a town surplus property that used to be the old water department.
Correct. Now, we recently passed something that allows you a little more flexibility with that. Did we do something so you can, to avoid the foreclosure, you can work?
Right, so we did recently pass a payment plan bylaw, which allows us to waive a portion of interest for anybody who's in tax title. If they sign up for a payment plan agreement, they have 5 years to pay it off, which is longer than what current state statute allows.
Okay.
They would also get a credit of a quarter of the interest that's due at the time they sign the agreement. So it can save people a little bit of money, but the biggest benefit is that they have a longer period of time to pay it, where it can relieve a little bit of the stress that they're feeling, and kind of give them a path forward to get out of this.
So and really it's designed just to help them and make sure that, if there's any way possible that we can help you stay in that home and keep that home, we would rather do that.
That's always the goal.
Great. All right, is there some other stuff you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to just talk about the unclaimed property project that we're working on. We had a lot of really old checks that we had paid to people that were just never cashed. And so we were able to to accept a statute at town meeting a couple of years ago to allow us to go through a very specific process that requires sufficient notice to the people that it's their money, really, it's not ours, to notify them that we have their funds and to give them an opportunity to request a new check. And so we've been going through that process. We're now on our second year, and this will be something that will be done on an annual basis now.
Have we been successful in reaching anyone?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of feedback. We've done a great job of getting it out on social media and onto the website. Anytime I do an update, I have it posted to the front page so that it's out there, and then it goes to social media. And I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten saying someone texted me and said that I have money. So it's been really successful.
Great. Awesome. All right, anything else you'd like to tell anybody, or anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. The office is always busy. Right now we've got motor vehicle bills that are going to be due on March 9th. So people can make those payments either here at Town Hall, with the drive-up window, with the new drawer that's working great, Dropbox, online payments. We have lots of options.
So there's plenty of ways. If you don't want to come into Town Hall, which we love it if you do, but you can go online. There's a Dropbox at the front door. Yep. And we have a drive-through window.
Yeah, which is great for anybody who doesn't need to get out of the car. I've got a toddler, and as much as I can do a drive-up window, I do.
I'm the same way, and I'm just lazy. That's all. Okay, well, that's great, and thank you for coming. I appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for another episode, and we'll be back. I want to thank Kevin and Matt from Abington Cable. We couldn't do this without them. And again, we'll be back soon. We'll probably be talking about some budget stuff. Exciting things coming up, warrant articles, and getting ready for town meeting. Thank you.